I believe it, you will see it, the writing on the wall. It's for reason, not for malice, that we watch them fall. The amazing atheist. The amazing atheist. Have you seen it? The stupidity of the ones around you. Can you feel it? The need to rise up from the pit of destitute. The amazing atheist. The amazing atheist. Forging unity, the time is coming to annihilate the ignorant, peddling scum, breathing anger, exhale wisdom, suffocate the indifference. No more complacency. The amazing atheist. The amazing atheist.
Hey, everybody. How you fucking doing, huh? How the fuck you doing? What's going on in the world today? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm as puzzled as any of you. I saw some people in the chat bitching about slow mode. Well, too bad for you, because if I turn slow mode off, there's a bunch of you would just be like, poop, 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 poop. Figure out some spelling of the N-word you could fucking just spam 1,000 times. No. You deserve to be in fucking slow mode, bitch. Don't think otherwise, all right? You don't need freedom of expression. You misuse it. All right? And that's why you got it. That's why the Iron Fist, that's why all these mods in here, you know, so that if one of you steps out of line, boom, dead. In fact, I would literally, if I could give these mods the power to kill you, like if I could give them the power to press a button and just kill anyone who's a piece of shit in my chat, just press the button and then you fucking, wherever you are, Death Note style, heart attack, you know, I'd fucking do it. Do it in a heartbeat. Wouldn't even be a conundrum for me. Wouldn't even be like, oh, the ethics. No, I just do it. That's how I feel about it. So that's where I'm at. So I'm not giving you any sympathy for this slow mode shit. Go ahead and boo, boo. Nope. Fascism, bitch. Get used to it. You guys seem to love it when it comes to like a nationwide thing. So don't expect my chat to be some kind of a exception, you know, because it's not gonna be. Let's see if that alerts. I want to make sure that the alerts are coming up here. It should pop up right there. Is it gonna? Because I just saw someone do a live thing for $5, and it has not popped up here. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So, Streamlabs, Super Chats, all that stuff is open. If you want to do Super Chat, you obviously know how to do that already. If you want to do it through Streamlab, that shit is linked in the description. They will be read at the end of the show. So I do want to say, first of all, that I've been up for, I don't know how long, but I'm on a very, very small amount of sleep. Probably 3 or 4 hours last night. I don't know what it is. Sleep to me just doesn't seem like it happens anymore. You know, I get in bed. I do all the things you're supposed to do when you're going to sleep. I put my head on the pillow. I close my eyes. I try to relax. I even tried, like, literally counting sheep in my head. Like, I'm like, let's see if that fucking works. Bah, 1. Bah, 2. Bah, 3. Didn't work. Bah, 6,541. Bah, 6,000. You know, it's like, it's no good. So that didn't fucking work. Tried counting backwards from 100. Tried fucking some dumb meditation shit, you know, like, oh, breathe, take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, relax every part of your body, just embrace, just feel, just relax, just feel the tension leave your body. It's not. The brain won't stop. You know, so fuck it. Sleep doesn't happen anymore. That was almost a fucking Sig Heil. You know, that's not good. Can't be doing that shit. Take that out of context. That's no good. They used to do that, you know, for the American flag. It's like, instead of the hand on the heart, well, it'd be this hand, but, you know, they would Sig Heil the fucking American flag back in the day. But then when the Nazis started doing it, we're like, let's do this. You know, just in case you guys needed to know that. I've lost some weight. That's a good thing, I guess. Down to 300 fucking pounds. Down to 299 actually. Started at 320, finally got down. My first major goal was I wanted to get down under 300. I wanted to see a weight that started with a 2. And about a week ago, or maybe a little more, I finally got down to, it just said 300. It said 300 pounds. 300.00 on my fucking scale. I'm like, okay, sweet. So really soon now, I'm going to fucking wake up one day and it's going to be under 2. And then the next day it was like 201. Then the next day it was like 301. Then it was like 302. Then it was 301 point whatever. And then it was 300 even again. And it just like kept fucking it was like, but it wouldn't quite go under 2. And then finally, the other day I woke up, I got on the scale, it said 300 again. I'm like, fuck this. So I went to the bathroom and I fucking took a shit and I took a piss and I fucking just like forced everything I possibly could get out of my body out. And then I went and weighed myself again, and it was fucking 299.4 or whatever the fuck. And then I was like, yeah, I got under 200. I got under 300. I'm down to the 2s now. So, of course, I'm going to have a day of celebration, which I celebrated by eating way too much and going way over my calories. And then I woke up this morning, and it was like 302 again. I was like, fuck, okay. Well, but at least I got under it for a second. At least I had that little window. But today I've been good. I've been really fucking good. Only up to like 700 calories or whatever the fuck. So I fucking ate really lean today. So I'm really hoping that tomorrow I'll see that 299 again. Or maybe, fingers crossed, we'll even see maybe 298. Pipe dream of 298. Losing weight's been weird, though, because it's made me worse in a lot of ways. Like, a lot of my energy has come back. That's why I can't sleep, because, like, I remember not being able to sleep. See, the thing is, I think a lot of the reason why I would like gorge myself on food every night was because that was how I slept. I could only sleep if I put myself into a fucking food coma. So now that I can't do that anymore, it's impossible for me to fucking sleep. It doesn't happen. It can't happen. I don't need sleep. I mean, I do, but I only need like 4 minutes of sleep. I mean, I feel horrible and miserable and unrested and just totally fatigued, and I don't even know, but obviously I could still fucking do it, so whatever. I can't sleep. I got a short fuse now. I get angry at shit way quicker, you know? My wife, she says fucking whatever to me, and I'm just like a fucking snarky asshole. I like kick things. I kicked the fucking garbage can the other day. I'm like, rah, fucking garbage can. Piece of shit. Big old fucking dent in the garbage. It's a metal garbage can. So like this being thinner, I mean, like I'm starting to think, you know, maybe it's like the Nutty Professor, man. You know, Sherman Klump, he's a big fat, I'm talking about the Eddie Murphy version. Sherman Klump, he's a big fat motherfucker, but he's jovial and he's nice. He takes that weight loss serum, it slims him up, but he becomes a fucking dipshit. He becomes an asshole. And that's happening to me. And the more I lose, the bigger of an asshole I'm become. And I was already an asshole when I was fat, so, you know, I'm just becoming more and more of an asshole. I started just like kicking things, like not just the garbage can. It's just like I like to kick now. I just fucking sit around and like kick. Just kick the air, like fucking stupid fucking air. I'll just kick the shit out of you, you know? I can kick pretty high given my fucking fatness and my like low flexibility and shit. You know, I've found I'm a surprisingly good kicker. You know? Probably because these fucking like little stubby ass legs I got, they're not really stubby. I'm fucking 6'6", but I feel like the legs are a little smaller than they should be for my body because I have a really long torso and then my legs comparatively are short, which means that in my mind, I basically have these weird little midget legs and these super crazy long snake torso. Like that's my mental image of myself, even though that's not what I really look like. I know that, but that's what I see. That's what I feel myself to be. But because these legs have had to hold up all this fucking weight, I think they've become super powerful, super strong. And now I can kick through brick walls and shit. It's like my superpower. Melatonin, yeah, that doesn't work. You know what melatonin does? Here's the effect of melatonin. Does it help me go to sleep? No. It does not. Does it make it harder for me to wake up? Yes, it does. That's what melatonin does. That's what every fucking sleep aid I've ever tried has done. It's like, does it help me go to sleep? No. Does it make it insanely fucking difficult to wake up the next morning? Yep. So if I just wanted to get longer amounts of sleep, that'd be fine. But in order for that to be useful, I'd actually have to be able to go to sleep at a reasonable time. See, usually I'm okay. I need to go to sleep. I need to sleep for fucking, you know, at least 6 hours. That's how much I need to like feel actually rested. So I'll go to bed like 2 hours before that and be like, okay, 2 hours. That should be enough time for me to fucking go to sleep. But of course it's not. And then it's like, I just sit there and like I lay there in bed and it's like, okay, well, it's been 3 hours. Now I can only, if I fall asleep now, I can still get 5 hours. If I fall asleep now, I can still get 4 hours. If I fall asleep now, I can still get 3 hours. Ah, fuck it. I don't even give a shit anymore. I'm just up, you know? So fuck that shit. Sleep is impossible. I don't know how anyone fucking does it. It's not even like, how do you do it? How do you fucking do it? Just someone tell me how the fuck it's done. Because the only method I've ever discovered that works is gorge myself on a massive amount of food just before I go to bed and then fucking slip into a food coma, usually a sugar coma, if we're fucking honest. That worked, but I can't do that anymore because I'm trying to lose weight. So what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Someone fucking tell me that, huh? Anyway. You know, I'm a little hostile about it. You know, I wish I could fucking sleep. It'd be really nice. Like, or I wish I just didn't need sleep. Like, you know, like if I just didn't even need it, I could just, I mean, hey, I'd have a lot more fucking spare time and shit, right? Just fucking do whatever I want. Don't need to sleep. That'd be cool. Or if you're going to make me need to sleep, let the fucking process of sleeping be easy. Let it be like, okay, I'm laying down now. I am turning off my mind. We're going into sleep mode. You know? And then, like, okay, make it like in a Fallout game where you just like, all right, now I'm going to rest for 8 hours. Doot. Wake up, fucking well rested. Everything's good. And it fucking works. And it's fucking beautiful. Someone just asked if I tried reading. Maybe I should try reading because I've been trying to get back into reading. And actually, that's a good segue into the next thing I wanted to fucking talk about here. I've been trying to get back into reading because, so I used to be an avid video game player when I was a kid, when I was a young teenager and stuff as well. And I stopped playing video games around that time, and it's like it doesn't interest me anymore. I can't even think of it as a thing to do. Reading, even though I got all these books back there, I've read a lot of those books, but I don't read anymore. I haven't sat down and read a book seriously in like 2 or 3 years at this point. So like reading has fallen off the radar. Movies, like more and more time I spend scrolling fucking endlessly, trying to find some kind of fucking, of thing to watch. And instead of fucking finding anything, I just scroll. And eventually I end up watching something I've already watched like 15 times. Because I'm scared to try anything fucking new. Or if I do try something new, it's just like, whatever. It's fucking dog shit. Or, maybe occasionally it's like, oh, well, that was actually okay. But, there's a lot of this bullshit. So movies are starting to fade off of, already fucking lost interest in video games, already lost interest in books, starting to lose interest in movies, starting to lose interest in television shows. I just don't know. It's not that I've lost interest in art or entertainment or storytelling or any of that shit. It's just that none of it is what I want. None of it's what I want. None of the characters that I want to spend time, like, they don't seem to fucking exist out there in the fucking world, right? But anyway, I'm like, okay, so I'm not finding what I'm looking for on movies or television. I don't think I have the time even to play fucking video games, honestly. So I'm going to try to read. So I want to read that just doesn't have a digital form or something, unless there's something like that. Then whatever. I'm not going to fucking have a physical book anymore. I'm going to read them on Kindle, on my phone. So I downloaded that fucking app, and I started fucking scrolling through shit. And I'm like trying to find a book to read. I'm like, I don't want to read. I've already read a bunch of Stephen King and shit. I want to go outside that. I want to find something new. I want to find, because like obviously the stuff that I'm getting now, it's not scratching whatever itch I have deep down inside, where it's like I want something new. I want something that's like, not to be like a pun thing, but like something novel. You know what I mean? Like something that is a little bit outside what I've seen before, a little bit more offbeat of a story, a little bit more, out there of a fucking character kind of thing. And so I was looking for that, and that's when I stumbled upon this. Nope. This. the OPMC, or maybe it's the OPMC, God of Winning. God of Winning, y'all. I don't know what the first thing I noticed about this cover. It's hard to put my finger on exactly what it is. There's something about this cover just like, that's kind of interesting looking, I don't know what it could have been, but no, I look at this, I'm like, wow. These people be selling book, and I saw like, holy shit. Like, this has like 302 ratings. It's like #1 bestseller in dark fantasy horror, which probably is not the biggest genre in the world, but obviously like a pretty respectable amount of people have read this motherfucking thing. And I was like, let's check this out, let's see if if it delivers on the promise of this cover, which I just find appealing for some reason. It does. It's horrible. I mean, okay, I don't want to be a dick about the look. It is what it is. This is written as a male power fantasy, and it's just that. It's nothing but that. These authors that write, apparently, like, this is like a whole like thing. Like, you could, you know, Simon Archer, Bunny Girls, you know, fucking Logan Jacobs, Monster Girl Island 7, Sin and Soil by Anna Murch. Even though this one is wearing like a long dress, somehow you still see the entire crack of her fucking ass in that dress. Succubus Lord 17. Yeah, there's 17 of these fucking things, you know? Creation Mage, War Mage Academy 1, you know? It's like, and it's just like, there's like a million of these. Just like skimpy, scantily clad outfit fucking chicks with big titties and big asses lustfully posing on the covers of these books that are just cranked out at a fucking tremendous rate. You know, because there's probably not much of a second draft. It's probably just like, I wrote it, some editor corrected some spelling, and then we put it out there in the fucking world, right? Like, I read that OPMC motherfucking thing. I didn't read much of it. I read like the first like chapter or something, and here's basically what it was. I was a nerd, and I worked at a call center helping stupid people solve computer issues, but then I fell asleep and magically woke up in a crazy land of wizards and sorcery. And the next thing I knew, I had all these cool powers. And basically it was the plot to that one story in Heavy Metal. You know, if you guys have seen Heavy Metal, where John Candy, he's like a nerdy character that finds a meteorite, and then it transports him to like this sword and sorcery land where he's like gigantically muscular and has a huge cock, and he starts fucking like all these buxom chicks and stuff. And this was basically that, but like there was not even any setup. It was like by the second page, he was transported to the fucking fantasy realm where, you know, the buxom ladies are all there with their big titties and their giant asses and their, skimpy outfits and all that stuff. And it's like, whoa, okay, cool. But it wasn't really cool. It was actually pretty shitty storytelling-wise and writing-wise. So I'm like, well, I'm not really finding what I'm looking for here. I mean, it's cool that there's this titillating cover, and it's cool that this kind of pulp garbage still gets published and still has an audience. But then I was like, I always wanted to be a novelist when I was growing up. I always wanted to write fiction. And I always wanted to be lofty about it. I always wanted to write this like big, impressive. I have like there's a science fiction novel that I've had in my head since I was like 15 years old that I've wanted to write. And it's not the only one, but it's the main one. It's like, this is the story I really want to fucking tell. And I've always wanted it to be like this immaculate masterpiece. I've always wanted it to be like, this is like, this is Frank Herbert's level shit. This is Isaac Asimov. This is Philip K. Dick. This is like that level of fucking sci-fi mastery. And then but I always told myself, I'm doing this YouTube thing now, but one day, I'll be retired from this shit, and that will be when I have a little free time to write some of these novels. But, I don't see any reason why I should wait, especially when garbage like this is getting all these fucking, like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to write the story I always intended to write, and I actually already had a lot of sexual elements to it, so I was going to downplay those, but now I'm just going to upplay them. I'm going to slap a big-titted bitch on the cover, and I'm going to fucking publish my goddamn sci-fi novel, and I'm going to disguise it as schlock, and it actually won't be schlock. Or maybe it will be schlock, but even then it won't matter because it already looks like it. So who fucking cares? So, that's what I'm going to do with my spare time from now on. I'm going to be writing my fucking sci-fi novel. And I know a lot of people, you guys are probably like, dude, you started a book called The Order of Chaos like 2 years ago, and you've only written 4 chapters. Fair point, but I haven't totally written off the idea of finishing that. I'm going to do it eventually, but it's a slow fucking process, okay? And this sci-fi book, I have a lot more I already kind of know everything that's going to be in it. I've been thinking about it for fucking 20 goddamn years. I ought to. So there's not any chance that I'm going to be like, well, I don't know what to do now. I don't know how to write myself out of this corner or whatever. I mean, there is some of a chance of that, but not nearly as much. So Order of Chaos will still happen. It's just going to be a slow fucking go, and, there'll be a couple chapters released here and there. Eventually, there'll be enough for that to be published. But that's not where my main focus is going to be writing-wise. I'm going to write my fucking novel. I'm going to fucking take a page out of these boob and butt book playbooks, And part of the reason I want to do it, too, is not just, seeing that these are successful, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to fucking do something. And also just, the fact that I can't seem to find the stories that I want to read or watch or play or anything. So I feel like I got to create my own. And also, I've been finding more and more that there's certain ideas that I have about the world that I cannot express directly because of censorship, because of controversy and shit like that. So I can't just come right out and say what I want to say. So it's better to express it through art, and that's another thing I'm going to fucking do. I'm going to write propaganda. I'm going to make its cover's going to be big tits. The surface story is going to be a sci-fi novel, but really underneath all that, it's going to be crazy left-wing propaganda designed to lure in neckbeards with the promise of titties and ass, and then basically brainwash them to think exactly as I do. It's a fucking foolproof plan. I know you guys will help me out with that. I know you guys will buy it. And I know you guys will rate it on Amazon, and you'll trick the other people who just think they're getting another fucking one of these garbage titty books. I know you'll trick them as well. So this is the plan. This is the scheme. So I'm going to be writing that fucking novel. I'm going to be trying to get it done as quick as possible. Now, it's still going to take a while, and, knowing me, maybe it'll never fucking happen. But that's the plan as of now. That's what's going on. So once again, Streamlabs and Super Chats are open. They will be read at the end of the fucking stream, blah, 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 blah. So you can keep those coming in as we go through this stuff. Now, another thing that people have been asking me about lately, is my review of the new Marilyn Manson album that came out on September 11th. So I said I was going to do a review around the time it came out. Obviously, it's been some time since then. People have been hounding me about it, so I have it written out, so I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to just plop this up on the fucking screen. I'm just going to remove myself off the screen, and I'm just going to read what I wrote, and so this will serve as the review. And let me just get that document open. So for those of you who have been asking me to review this, here it is. Here's my review. Many have asked me to review Marilyn Manson's new album, We Are Chaos. I have decided to oblige them in their request. The album begins with spoken word augmented by spooky vocal layering and an atmospheric score that would be right at home in a horror movie. Manson yammers about becoming the king bee and covering the world in honey. He sounds completely out of his mind. The words are like that of a homeless man raving on the street corner, but the voice is like a fallen angel. Out of nowhere, a crowd is laughing and cheering. Where did they come from? No time to process, Manson summarizes his disjointed but poetic rant with what feels like a summary. All I can see are gods on the left and demons on the right. A big drum kicks in, feeling very tribal and primitive. You really feel like you've crossed into some new plane, crossed the threshold and entered the mind of Manson. The song is Red, Black, and Blue. Lyrically, it seems to be about the struggles to reconcile personal insecurities and character flaws with the idea of oneself as supreme. Narcissism versus inferiority complex. Am I garbage or God? Am I garbage or God? Church or trash can? He opines, before concluding with his trademark snark. Either way, you're a waste of my time. Musically and vocally, the track feels like it could have been released in 1998. If this sound was what followed up Antichrist Superstar instead of the glam rock of Mechanical Animals, that would have seemed very natural at the time. It feels like a throwback to an earlier era of Manson. Perhaps he is making a bit of a statement here as well, showing that he can still capture the sound associated with his 90s hits, not by merely mimicking them, but by showing an alternative tangent of that sound, a glimpse of a Manson that could have been. Will the whole album sound like this? The answer comes right away. No. Track 2 is the album is the eponymous We Are Chaos, and it sounds very little like any previous era of Marilyn Manson and is more akin to 60s or 70s era classic rock. The track sits somewhere between the Beatles and David Bowie if they were sung by a distressed demon voice of a 51-year-old libertine degenerate. I wasn't sure how I felt about this song when I first heard it. I found that Manson's vocals seemed too low in the mix, but the longer it grows on me, the more it is infectiously stuck in my head, and its wholly downbeat lyrics and singing set to intriguingly upbeat and up-tempo music. We are sick, fucked up, and complicated. We are chaos. We can't be cured, Manson tells us over and over again. And looking around the world in 2020, these words ring deeply true. He claims that he did not write the song to address current events, but actually wrote it a year and a half ago, intending it to be more personal. But he recognizes that it takes on a very different meaning in the context of 2020. Some have criticized the song for not being chaotic enough. To that, I would say that emotionally representing the feeling of chaos isn't necessarily accomplished by being chaotic. Next is the intense and animalistic intro to Don't Chase the Dead, which quickly gives way to a song with big, sweeping goth pop sensibilities dripping with romance. If you've got a girlfriend or wife or whoever you fuck who is into Manson and you play this song for her or him or them, while looking into their eyes, they will jump your bones like a savage. If tonight lasts forever, it won't matter if there's no tomorrow. That line sounds cool and all, but it's also a real panty dropper. I think that's essentially what this song is supposed to do, and it accomplishes that. But even if you're not using it to set an amorous atmosphere, it's still a catchy and energetic song that showcases the sort of musical sensibilities that made Manson stand out from his contemporaries in the first place. When it was announced that Shooter Jennings was producing Manson, many speculated that Manson was going to drop a country album. This did not turn out to be true, but it comes the closest to being true on the fourth track, Paint You With My Love. The chorus sounds tragically romantic, but the verses are twisted. Then, out of nowhere, the song intensifies into a whirlwind outro that feels big and threatening before melting into an acid trip on Mars. It's odd, even for a Manson song, and I think I love it. Next comes Halfway and One Step Forward, where Manson, for whatever reason, decides it's time for him to sound like Bauhaus meets Justin Timberlake. At one point in the song, Manson pays an homage to Leonard Cohen that comes pretty close to plagiarism. In the Leonard Cohen song Anthem, Cohen sings, "Ring the bells that still can ring, forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in." In Halfway and One Step Forward, Manson sings, "Ring all the bells you can ring, there's a crack in everything, that's how the sunlight gets in." Yeah, it's very distractingly similar in a way that, for me, detracts from the song. Manson does not sufficiently alter the line to transform its meaning, so it really comes across like it's arguably theft rather than just a reference or homage. Putting that possibly pilfered line aside, the song is not bad. At a taut 3 minutes and 16 seconds, it does not overstay its welcome or overindulge. It gives me exactly as much of it as I want. The hook is catchy, the atmosphere is heavy, and the poppy side of Manson is flexing its muscles. As far as Manson's overtly poppy songs go, however, I think I still prefer Kill For Me off of his 2017 album, Heaven Upside Down. It shows off much of the same repertoire, but with a more indelibly Manson-esque stamp and a more fully formed concept. Can any song actually live up to the title Infinite Darkness? Well, this next track can. Just when it feels like the album might have been losing a little bit of its initial steam, this song plunges you into a whole new nightmare as Manson begins to bear the blackest parts of himself in his most introspective and self-deprecating song yet. The lyrics brim with malice and threats of violence towards himself and others. The nihilism roars, "You're dead longer than you're alive," over and over again. This is our chorus, screamed repeatedly and with real conviction, as if he's pouring all of himself into these words. Are they a message of despair or a message of hope? Just as Marilyn Manson as a concept is the melding of light and darkness, innocence and depravity, virtue and violence, so too is this chorus infused with both hope and despair. But this song isn't called Infinite Light, it's called Infinite Darkness, so the hope is swallowed before it can even register. It may manifest in a later track, but for now it is swallowed by the Nietzschean abyss, if you're familiar with the popular quote about fighting monsters. The next track is Perfume, and it swings and pulses. Lyrics caution about making a bargain with Satan if you're not willing to pay his price. Well, the exact wording is, if you conjure the devil, you better make sure you've got a bed for him to sleep in. I didn't know Satan needed much rest, but I think I'll make note of that. Here also, Manson poses another introspective question. Am I Superman? Am I superstitious? But my favorite lyric is the one that seems to be, at least according to my interpretation, directed right at former Manson lover Evan Rachel Wood, who is still on his mind after all this time and who has been spotlighted recently as a potential way to bring Manson down with her accusations that he was mentally and physically abusive and controlling during their time together. He sings, "So you wear your damage on your sleeve, but don't worry, it's all just tongue-in-cheek, yeah. Not a victim of fashion, more fascist than Vogue, 'cause victim is chic. You're as famous as your pain, victim is chic, yeah." Can I prove this line is about Wood? No, I can't. But that conclusion feels correct, at least to me. Who else does Manson know intimately enough to devote lyrics to who is both famous and either a victim or playing one? This may even be a repudiation on his part of the entire hashtag #MeToo movement, which would be strange considering that he seems to maintain a somewhat close relationship with ex-girlfriend Rose McGowan, who was instrumental in bringing hashtag #MeToo to the forefront and who has also, in recent interviews, described her own time with Manson in positive, almost glowing terms. It's perhaps a shame that such tabloidal elements have crept into the music of Marilyn Manson over the years, but it is perhaps simply an outgrowth of the phenomena of celebrity and the modern perceptions of that conception. Nonetheless, even if we listeners are not ourselves celebrities, we can perhaps learn something from this airing of dirty laundry if we are wise enough to look past the salacious and instead seek answers inward. The next song is called Keep My Head Together, and it rocks pretty hard. Every song on the album wants to get stuck in your head, and this one is a real competitor in that regard. The part that I find myself singing is, don't try changing someone else, you'll just end up changing yourself. I kind of wonder, though, is that really such a terrible thing? It's odd that a chameleon like Manson would fear change. There is a strong element of defensiveness to the song, where he sings, "So you hand me a shovel and expect me to dig my own grave." He sings it like a demand. The implication is that he'd rather wrap the shovel around your fucking head. Next is Solve Coagula, which is perhaps the most vulnerable Manson has ever allowed himself to be on a record. This is the polar opposite of Antichrist Superstar, where he laid claim to the title of Nietzsche's Übermensch. Here he is willing to admit his humanity, willing to concede to it and all of its flaws. I'm not special, I'm just broken, he declares. But is this seen as his first step towards some sort of recovery? No. The next line is, and I don't want to be fixed. He then declares that that there is no one else that he'd rather be, and that he will remain exactly as he is, despite whatever forces in the world might attempt to dilute or change him. Yet, is there a hint in the title of the song itself that he is not as immutable as the lyrics overtly project? Well, solvet coagula is a term that essentially means breaking things down to their constituent parts and then reforming them into something new. But Manson doesn't call the song solve et coagula. He calls it solve coagula. Now, I don't know why he omitted the et, or maybe I think it might actually be pronounced but I'm not saying But I don't know if that changes the meaning in Manson's mind. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. Then comes the finale, the final word on the album, the big closing number, Broken Needle. The needle refers to a record needle, the needle on a record player. It's also analogizing a relationship. It's about how he cannot stop obsessing over memories of the past, how it continues to affect him, how it seems inescapable. This is something many of us can relate to, looking back at something that elicits within us an emotional cocktail. Maybe it's an entanglement that we haven't fully escaped despite our best efforts to extricate ourselves. The album ends with a vow: I'll never ever play you again. Basically saying I'll never once again become lost in or obsessed with this memory. It could also be seen as surrender to reform, like I'll never play someone again the way I played you. Play here stands for manipulation or control, but it's also, a double entendre with the playing of the record, or the playing of the memory. There's a dark twist here, though. So if you own this album on vinyl, you know that this record does not actually end. It simply sustains the last few notes in perpetuity. So the vow to never ever play it again is marred by the fact that it never actually stops playing. It will never end until you choose to end it, until you lift the needle. Does Manson have the strength to stop playing the record of his memory and the pain that it brings him? Do any of us have that strength? Can we put away the past and embrace a new future, wiser and stronger? Or are we forever going to live in the prison of our memories? Basically just lost in what we've done, what we've seen, what's been done to us, what we felt, what we went through. Can we ever truly live in the present when we've yet to completely bury the past? Or is that even what we should do with the past? These are the questions I'm left with listening to the album. I think they're the questions Manson intended to leave me with, but who, obviously art's up for interpretation. We Are Chaos has been called Manson's feel-good album by some critics, and Manson seems eager on his social media to spotlight this observation. For me, every Manson album has felt good, but this one is the first time I've seen a Manson album express hope and a desire to, if not exactly heal, then to at least accept one's own flaws and to exist as a purely aware human being. The songs are great, catchy, stripped down to their essence, powerful, sincere, and poignant. And they tell a story that, to my reckoning, is timeless and provocative. So I give this album a 10 out of 10. It is, to my reckoning, among Manson's best work, and it is perhaps the crowning jewel of this new Manson Renaissance period that started with Pale Emperor and is hopefully going to be sustained for as long as Manson continues to draw breath and to make music. And I hope that for all of you people out there who continuously ask me to come up with this review, I hope that was satisfying to those of you who have asked me over and over again to do that. So, I did want to, at this point, give a big fucking shout out to... hold on. Let me do some setup here. Actually, I don't know why my eye is so fucking itchy. I gotta stop that. Don't itch it. Don't rub it. It doesn't fucking do anything. When am I going to learn? When are all of us going to learn that if your eye fucking is irritated, the rubbing shit, that ain't helping. That has never helped. I've never been like, oh man, my fucking eye itches, and then done that, and then been like, oh, now it feels great. You know what I mean? Like, that's never once happened. So why do I do it? Why do any of us do it? Don't rub your fucking eyes. Especially, you know, that's like COVID shit now, too. So, anyway, I hope those of you guys who fucking wanted that Manson review enjoyed that, but we got to move on. So I don't know how many of you guys have, turned up for some of my previous streams, but one of the things I've harped on numerous times in the past is the need for some left-wing media to compete with shit like PragerU. The need for leftist media that's slickly produced, to go out there and propagate itself, because PragerU is funded by fracking billionaires, and it represents the interests of the billionaire class. But it doesn't come out as like it's not honest about that. It tries to be like, yeah, we're trying to down home conservative values, speaking to the everyman, but that's not who's funding the agenda, and that's not the agenda that's being pushed. And there's people like Ben Shapiro who are almost completely the concoction of the very same fracking billionaires. You know, all these conservative right-wingers, because conservatism is in the best interest of moneyed interests, they have no trouble getting funding. They have no trouble blasting themselves out there. And it seems like it's a lot harder for, like, you know, there's a lot of great left-wing channels out there, like Secular Talk, Humanist Report, fucking whatever the fuck else. You know, there's all kinds of stuff. Jimmy Dore, not really my favorite, but, you know, he's got his own take. There's a lot of fucking people out there that are on the left spewing leftist takes, but they don't get the numbers. They don't get the views that someone like a Ben Shapiro gets, or like PragerU gets, or, you know, all that stuff. They don't get that, and part of the reason why is because there's no billionaires lining up to fund their asses, you know? Despite all this talk of Soros, you know, Soros ain't really, Kyle Kalinske ain't getting no Soros checks, you know what I mean? Vosh ain't getting no Soros checks. I ain't getting no fucking Soros checks. So I have always said it's super important for, like, we need to get some people-powered, of the people, for the people, by the people, leftist media out there in these fucking spaces that's bite-sized, digestible, and finally it seems that there is a channel taking that upon itself. And I speak, of course, of the Gravel Institute. Started off as the Mike Gravel campaign, trying to offer up some genuine, like, leftism in response to the slew of corporatist Democrat candidates that were running this year, and give some support to Bernie Sanders, but in a more aggressive way than Bernie himself was willing to voice. Now, Gravel never ended up getting on the debate stage, but the people who pushed Gravel are now kind of working on this new project, which is the Gravel Institute is going to be the leftist answer to PragerU. And if it's going to survive, and if it's going to accomplish that goal, it's going to need support. So I urge everybody here watching me now to go subscribe to this Gravel Institute channel, to click on this stupid little fucking alert bell, and to watch this content, and to consider very seriously joining the Gravel Institute Patreon and funding this content so that they can get this stuff in front of more eyeballs, and we can start counteracting these fracking billionaires' fucking chosen narratives, and stop letting them control the fucking discourse. Because I think that's fucking crucially, vitally fucking important. And I just feel like I got to give these people a fucking shout out. Now I don't know if it's gonna be as good as what I'm hoping it's gonna be, but god damn it, it's a start. And it seems like the people who run it are some pretty smart people. I love what they do with their Twitter account. They have a great Twitter. So definitely check out this channel and consider supporting that Patreon. Just wanted to throw that out there, a little shout out for them. They're sitting at like 30,000 subscribers now. I'm hoping, I want to see them rivaling PragerU in a year or two, And it's only going to do that if people fund it, because there's not going to be a billionaire that's going to come along and fund this. It's against the fucking interests of the billionaire class to fund leftism. There's not a lot of fucking venture capitalists out there that want to put money into the idea that capitalism is the root of a lot of our fucking problems in this country. They'll fund liberals and they'll fund conservatives, but they are not going to fund leftists. So that has to be people-powered. The same people who funded the Bernie Sanders campaign, this is where your money should go now. It should go into this fucking media institutions. It should go to changing hearts and minds, because if you don't do that, you're not going to accomplish anything. Unless we fucking start to expand the base, there's no fucking chance of a leftist winning anytime in the near future. So, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this debate that's going to be happening tomorrow. Now, a lot of people are curious, is Deep Fat Fried going to do a live stream on the debate on the Deep Fat Fried channel? That is the plan. So, during the Democratic debates, we tried to do live streams on YouTube, and it never seemed like it fucking worked, but we're going to try. We're going to try to set something up to live stream this fucking debate on YouTube. Now, I should point out that if you want to watch the debate legit, don't watch our coverage of it, because we're going to fucking talk over them. We're going to mute them constantly. We're going to ignore a lot of what happens, and we're going to miss a lot of fucking important shit. So that's going to be the case. That's what you get if you decide to watch the the debate filtered through three stoner neckbeards, okay? That's what you fucking get. So accept that and move on. We're going to try to do it on YouTube. If not, we're going to try to set up a backup stream somewhere else that, hopefully it will probably Vimeo. We might try to set up some on D Live, but I don't know how long that takes to set up. So it'll probably be Vimeo, because we already have that in our back pocket. I know everyone hates Vimeo, and streaming there is not great, but whatever. Hopefully they won't kick us off YouTube. I'm going to try to create a little overlay that makes it, whatever. We're going to try to do it. So you can check that out tomorrow. I believe it's going to happen at 8 Central Time. You can look for your local time zone to see what time that's going to happen. So I offered up on my Twitter some debate predictions that I think I think these are going to be completely accurate. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that these are going to be 100% what happens in this debate. So I offered 5 there, but I've come up with 5 new ones. So if you read my Twitter, which why the fuck don't you if you don't, go fucking follow me on Twitter. It's down there, I think. But I offered 5 predictions there. I'm going to offer 5 new predictions here, but I'm also going to go over the predictions I already had. Okay. So these are TJ's, drum roll, if you please. Actually, I got some sound effects here. Let's see if any of them are a drum roll. So let's see what I got.
Los locos kick your ass! Los locos kick your face! Los locos kick your balls into outer space!
That's not a drum roll. That's not a drum roll.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
That's not a drum roll. That's a dumb roll.
We've got to have money.
That's a good point. You should definitely keep those Streamlabs and Super Chats coming in. I'm going to read them at the end. That's not a drum roll either, but that kind of works with it. That's just an error thing. I was going to fuck with Paul. I guess he probably won't see this, so I might still be able to get away with it. But I was going to fuck with Paul. I was just going to keep doing that during a show and make him think that I was having like some kind of computer issue. Like, God damn it, what the fuck is going on here? Fuck, you just and every time he talked, I was just gonna play that, just fuck with him. But I might not do it now because I've tipped my hand. But this will work. Come on. TJ's 10 debate predictions. Yeah. All right. Prediction number 1. Biden wanders off the stage before being led back by AIDS. And you just see that like mid-sentence, like maybe Trump's talking or maybe even Biden's talking, and he just wanders clean off the fucking stage. Just like wanders off into the backstage area, and like 2 or 3 aides have to kind of like gently push him back, and they kind of smile like, ha, 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 like they don't like, this is, what a funny joke, Joe. Oh, shit. We just lost. Number 2 prediction. Trump is going to announce a manned mission to the sun. You know? We're going to the sun. I can't do a Trump. We're going to the sun, people. It's going to be beautiful. Biden is going to poke his finger in Trump's chest. This is prediction number 3. Poke his finger in Trump's chest, and Trump is going to make a weird yipping sound like a dog. You know? I think that'd be fun. Number 4. This one's definitely going to happen, by the way. Number 4, I mean, this is the one I'm probably most confident in happening. Trump is going to let out a massive fart. Then he's going to brag about how he didn't shit himself, but it's going to be clear that he did shit himself, you know? Maybe the camera even zooms in on the lump in his pants, you know what I mean? Like, you see it like running down the leg and everything. So that's definitely going to happen, 100%. Number 5 prediction, Trump and Biden are going to bond over their reminiscence of the 70s and how people were tougher back then, you know? This is going to be their big area of agreement that night, you know? Every once in a while, it's like, can you say something nice about your opponent? Neither of these guys are going to fucking be able to say anything nice, but I think that maybe they'll both agree that the 70s, that was the best time. Number 6 prediction, Biden is going to spend the final 10 minutes of the debate, on, when the Adderall wears off, under the mistaken belief that he is Trump's running mate, and he's going to make an impassioned but rambling defense of Trump's record that's going to somehow involve sawmill gravy and World War I, among other fucking disjointed topics. Number 7, Trump and Biden are going to have a push-up contest, and here's how it's going to go. Biden's going to challenge Trump to the push-up contest. We know that Biden's prone to do this. Biden is then going to do 3 sit-ups before his back goes out, and he fucking spends the rest of the debate laying flat on the floor. Trump is going to just lay flat on his tummy on the floor in the push-up starting position, but he's not going to do any push-ups. He is, however, going to brag about how good he is at push-ups. And then for a bonus, Howard Bloom will also be there doing this. Number 8, Trump is going to accidentally let half of an N-bomb slip, you know? He's going to be talking. It's going to be during the race section of the debate. And he's going to start to fucking talk about black people. He's going to be, but then Biden's going to jump in and say the entire word. So it's going to be kind of even. Number 9, Joe Biden is going to begin bleeding from every orifice. Chris Wallace, who's moderating the debate, is going to ask him if he's okay, and Biden is going to insist that he is. Number 10, Trump is going to pick his nose for 30 uninterrupted seconds, and when confronted about it, he's going to say that he never has picked his nose, and he's going to say that while eating his booger. So that's those are my 10 debate predictions. Yeah. So actual debate predictions. I think it's going to be a shit show. I think those, what I'm getting at with all those 10 very funny comedic predictions I just made, what I'm getting at with all that is that this is going to be a complete and utter shit show. You're going to see the worst of these two. I just feel like you're going to see the worst of these two guys. I feel like this is going to be the debate that depresses America. You know, I feel like people are just going to look from Trump to Biden, from Biden to Trump, and just be like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck? But I think that kind of benefits Trump because Trump has just a fucking audience of built-in fanboys that just like him no matter what. And he also has an audience of built-in haters that just hate him no matter what and will vote for literally anything that you put up against him. Like, hey, here's a 10 times more evil than Trump clone of Trump, people would be like, well, still better than Trump. You know what I mean? So I think it's just going to come down to that. I think Biden is going to be awful. I think Trump is going to, I think you're just going to have mushmouth Biden, just wandering off into the fucking wild blue yonder. He's going to seem like, I think there'll be points in the night when he comes across as like sharp, but I think it's going to wane in and out like it has in previous debates where like sometimes he seems like he's kind of on and other times it just seems like he's like totally off. I think that Trump is going to be his usual monosyllabic self. I think that it's going to be basically like the mush-mouth idiot versus the like stupid caveman. And I think that, anybody with a brain or intelligence that's watching it is going to become just like insanely depressed by it. And I think that a lot of people already are pretty fucking depressed. And I think that they were pretty depressed about this state of affairs long before it came down to Trump and Biden. And I see it a lot online. I know there's a lot of people that I follow on Twitter. There's a lot of people I know in real life that are just sick of this duopoly, that are sick of these two entrenched corporatist parties. They're tired of the calculus of lesser of two evil voting. They feel like it just perpetually moves the Overton window further and further to the right. They feel like any sort of overture that Biden makes towards the left, whether it be like, yeah, I'm going to do the $15 an hour minimum wage, or yeah, I'm going to do the public option for Obamacare. They feel like all that stuff is just a total fucking lie. It's just to drum up votes. He's not actually going to fucking follow through on any of it, even if he does get elected. And I think that there's a very valid reason to fucking feel that way. I still think that it makes sense to me to choose your enemy. Because if you are on the left, even marginally, like even if you're, I'm not talking about like fucking comrade shit. I'm not talking about hammer and sickle left. I'm talking about just anything to the left of this fucking center-right versus far-right paradigm that seems to be mainstream politics in America. If you exist anywhere to the left of that, then you just look at this as a shit show. And it's probably why so many people in this country don't bother voting. It's probably why so many people in this country look at a choice like this and just say, fuck it, it doesn't really matter to me. And I think that I don't blame anybody for looking at this and just feeling like, electoralism, at least in its current form, is not going to save this country. It's not going to fix the underlying issues. It's not going to fix the systemic problems that continue to create the issues that plague this country. We've seen that the will of the people is ignored by both parties. Popular support for basic gun control doesn't happen. Popular support for abortion rights, and yet the party that controls the Senate, controls the White House, controls the courts is totally anti-abortion. Tremendous public support for a public option or Medicare for all or some sort of universal healthcare system, and it doesn't happen. It's just a political fucking non-starter. So the will of the people is continuously ignored by both parties. We just learned that the Senate and the House are going to be adjourning without passing any sort of additional COVID relief, despite the fact that unemployment is sky high, despite the fact that people are getting kicked out of their houses. They're not willing to offer any further relief to the American people. We got our $1,200 at one point, and we got some improved unemployment benefits for a short period of time, and then it's just like, fuck you, you're on your own. Meanwhile, they bailed out corporate America to the tune of trillions of fucking dollars. And it's just fucking ridiculous. They're not responsive to our needs. They're not responsive to us at all. The people are completely ignored. And I just wanted to say that if I was king of the left, if it was just like, TJ, you're now determining the strategy, here's what I would fucking tell people to do. Here's, as far as I can tell, this is the best thing we could possibly fucking do. And this is just my take, so fucking take it for what it is. This general strike that's been talked about, I've seen it talked about by my buddy Paul Zigo. I've seen it talked about by Jimmy Dore. I've seen it talked about, to a lesser extent by some other people on the left, but definitely Paul and Jimmy have been the ones that have most kept it in my ear. But I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, if you can't accomplish what you need to accomplish electorally, and you can't accomplish what you need to accomplish, within the process or within the system, a strike might be the best fucking option. So, I don't represent labor. I'm not a worker for a large corporation. I work as an independent contractor for YouTube. That's basically, they pay me as an independent contractor, and really I work for my patrons more than anybody else because I have a large Patreon, and you guys give donations when I do streams like this, I get a lot of fucking support from audience. I get a lot of support from selling t-shirts and books and stuff like that. So really, I work for you guys. I don't fucking work for a giant company. I don't work for, Kmart or Walmart or something. So I don't have the position where I can be on that fucking strike line. But I can tell you that I know that a lot of you guys work those kind of jobs. And here's the thing. There's no point in doing a general strike if there's not going to be a significant chunk of workers on board with the strike. It has to be a real sort of lasting economic slowdown that forces the politicians to come to the fucking table. And this has to be done regardless of which of these two fucking disgusting vampire motherfuckers, whether it be fucking, I don't even, like, I'm trying to think of even a distinction between the two of them. But if whichever one of those motherfuckers gets it, whichever one of them it is, this has to happen as far as I'm concerned. And I'm thinking the day for it to happen is January 20th, Inauguration Day. Whether it be Trump getting sworn back in or whether it be Biden getting sworn in for the first time, do not let the headline be that. Do not let new president sworn in be the fucking top story. Make the top story the general strike. Make the top story fucking the devastation of all of the economy by the will of the people. The people of this country have risen up. They're holding the entire economy hostage until some of their basic demands that they have been making for decades now are met. And that means, to my mind, here's the agenda that I fucking have. And once again, I'm not trying to fucking position myself as some kind of leader. I'm just telling you what I think should happen. Or getting into a hypothetical of, like, what if I was the leader? Steal Trump's headline, steal Biden's headline that day, give them a national headache, give them, hey, Trump, you're just getting into your second term. Biden, you're just getting in your first term. Whichever the case may be, here's your fucking headache, bitch. National strike. Sustained strike. Here's the demands. Universal basic income, we want it. $15 an hour minimum wage, we want it. Paid sick leave, we want it. Paid vacation time, we want it. Medicare for all, or at least some other kind of fucking universal healthcare system, so that it's not tethered any longer to employment. We want it. Federal jobs guarantee. Want it. Free college or free trade school so that people can either get the career they want or advance their career, without having to fucking break the bank to do it and without having to end up paying back some mountain of fucking debt, so that instead that money can go into their pocket or back into the fucking economy as they pay for goods and services, instead of it just going to, to a fucking pays back some student loan. Housing guarantee, end homelessness. No more fucking people, no more tent cities, no more people destitute in the street. There's plenty of fucking housing available in this country. Start giving it to the fucking people who need it. Stop letting people live in the streets. There's no fucking excuse for it. That'd be my basic things. Now, that platform, I think you guys might notice, is a bit on the classist side, okay? I think you might notice that that platform is sort of class reductionist, maybe some would say. So it doesn't deal with like gender issues. It doesn't deal with like transgender stuff. It doesn't deal with racial disparities and stuff like that. And that's by design, because I feel like there's more argument there. I want this to be something that even people who are conservative socially could get behind. Because there's plenty of people out there who maybe they're fucking racist, or maybe they think transgender people are a bunch of fucking subhumans or whatever the fuck. But you could still get them to stand by something like a $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, maybe there's some of them that don't, and there's some of them that look, fuck that shit. Those are idiots. There's nothing you can do with them. But a lot of them, you can get them to stand by some of this shit. Damn right I deserve paid sick leave. Goddamn right I deserve paid vacation time. Of course I want my medical bills taken care of. I want you have to find a pretty stupid fucking person who's going to look right at a bunch of shit that benefits them directly and says, nah, I don't want it. I don't like it. I don't want stuff that benefits me. Now, there are people that are that stupid. The Republican Party fucking banks on that. And so does the Democrat Party to an extent. But, yeah, I feel like you got to get rid of, you can't fucking, that id poll shit has to be separate. Now, I do think that by addressing some of these class issues, you do help, like minorities, like I think you dealing with poverty, because black people are disproportionately poor. If you start to make strides towards, improving the lives of impoverished people and pulling them out of poverty, that's going to disproportionately help black people. But it can't be targeted towards that. It has to be targeted towards poverty, because you need that robust support. So that's why it's structured that way. That's why I think that the class reductionist angle is the proper way to go about it. At least when it comes to these issues. Now, obviously, these issues are not all encompassing. There's other fucking issues on the table. But this would be a great start to a fucking labor movement. So January 20th, fucking spread the word. Go to your favorite, if you got fucking leftist creators that you watch, go ask them, like, if they fucking would support a fucking labor movement, a fucking mass general strike beginning on January 20th, beginning on Inauguration Day, and stealing the thunder of the fucking whoever becomes president, and making it not about them, making it about the people who it was always supposed to be about. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to our next story here. This is this tax story with Trump. Now, normally I don't cover these kind of stories, but this one was just too crazy. So here's some takeaways from this recent explosive sort of report that was published in the New York Times, which, of course, Trump has claimed is fake news. So, Trump, if this is fake news, it should be the easiest thing in the world for you to disprove. All you have to do is release your actual tax returns, and we'll see that this story is fake. I have a feeling you're not going to do that, though. So Trump paid $0 in federal income tax in 10 of the last 15 years. I have paid, I'm a YouTuber. I am not a billionaire. I don't live in a mansion that's where gold is plastered on every wall. And I have paid a shit ton in taxes over the years. The federal government has taken bite after bite out of my big fat ass. And, I paid fucking an ass load of taxes. I pay taxes out the ass. Now, of course, just like Trump, I try to make sure my tax bill is as low as it can possibly be. But I've never been able to get the fucking sort of, I've never been able to pull the fucking strings or get the sort of accounting that has me, even though I'm making a bunch of money, paying nothing in fucking taxes for fucking 10 out of 15 years. So you mean to tell me that this motherfucker is living in a fucking a New York penthouse decked out in fucking gaudy-ass gold and shit, hosting a fucking big reality show where I'm the boss and I'm the best businessman, you're fired, I'm Trump, I'm the most... He's not paying fucking... he's paying less in taxes than me? He's paying less in taxes than you? Motherfucker's not paying fucking taxes. In 2016, the year he took office, he paid $750 in taxes. $750 fucking dollars, okay? Like, what the fuck, dude? That is not okay. That is not fucking okay. It's not okay with me. Now, maybe if you're a little Trump butt-sniffing sycophant piece of fucking worm shit, maybe then you're like, well, you know, he's just a smart businessman, so he don't pay his taxes. Because, you know, who wants to pay taxes? None of us do. That's the point. You and I don't pay our taxes, we're in trouble. Trump doesn't pay his taxes. Apparently, that's just fucking fine. It's fine and goddamn dandy. You know what I mean? Let's see what else. Trump's presidential bid may have been to bolster his flagging empire. Oh, that's well known already. Everyone already knew that. Trump running for president started off as a publicity stunt. He never really expected to win. A new look at how Trump and his business may be profiting off his presidency. Well, we all knew that as well. We knew that Trump violates the emoluments clause left and right. So here's some examples of it. Even so, in his first 2 years in the White House, his revenue from abroad totaled $73 million, and while much of that money was from his golf properties in Scotland and Ireland, some came from licensing deals in countries with authoritarian-leaning leaders or thorny geopolitics. For example, $3 million from the Philippines, $2.3 million from India, and $1 million from Turkey. He also, of course, famously puts up government workers and dictionaries, dignitaries and shit. He puts diplomats, all those motherfuckers, they stay in his hotels. You know, let's all stay at Mar-a-Lago. We'll fly to Mar-a-Lago and we'll rent out the whole fucking place. Oh, who profits from that? Me, because he didn't divest from any of his businesses like he was told to. But for some reason, when we had our big impeachment trial, that never came up. The Democrats decided to make it all about Russia, instead of this fucking shit that they could easily prove. Hey, he violated the emoluments clause left and fucking right. It should have been a fucking no-brainer to bring that up in the impeachment proceedings, but of course they didn't do it because they're fucking Democrats and they're born to lose. Trump wrote off $70,000 in haircuts as business expenses. The IRS is auditing a $72.9 million tax refund. Trump's golf courses are big losers and lost him much of his apprentice fortune. Trump's debt is massive and will soon get worse. Now, this is the part of the story that actually was the most interesting to me. Donald Trump is $421 million in debt. You know? This explains to me why he has been so, why he's used the presidency at every turn to enrich himself, why he's used the office of the president to increase his personal wealth and the wealth of his family, including hiring his fucking daughter as a consultant, because, of course, she's uber qualified for that position. And I mean, you know what? I always knew Trump was massively in debt because check out, remember this Samantha Bee. I don't really give a fuck about her show, but she dug up a clip forever ago of Ivanka Trump telling this story. The story she told was, I remember once my father and I were walking down Fifth Avenue and there was a homeless person sitting right outside of Trump Tower. And I remember my father pointing to him and saying, you know, that guy has $8 billion more than me. Because he was in such extreme debt at that point, you know? So Trump's pointing at a homeless person and being like, that guy has more money than I do because I'm fucking massively in debt. Basically, like, doesn't that to you just fucking exemplify how fucked up this country is? There's a homeless guy. He's got nothing. Ain't got a pot to piss in, ain't got a window to throw it out of. He's sitting there on the fucking street corner wearing rags, covered in fucking grime and dirt, living on the street, teeth rotting out of his fucking head, probably fucking looks like he's 70 even though he's only 45. Not a fucking dime to his name. Lives on the fucking charity of strangers. And ultimately, at the end of the day, he has more money than Trump. By Trump's own admission, Trump looks at that guy and is like, hey, that guy's actually richer than me. He has no money, but I have a mountain of debt. I owe more money than I fucking have. The system, I was about to say it's broken. No, it's not broken. It's designed to be that way. Where a fucking scumbag parasite like Trump can have negative money and live in a palace, and a person who just has no money is on the street. And Trump's aware of this fact. Trump even recognizes the irony of it. But now that he's in the fucking highest position of authority in the land, is he trying to change it? Is he trying to address that problem? No, because he doesn't view it as a fucking problem. He views it as peachy keen that his ass can be buried under a fucking ocean of debt and live like a god, emperor, king. Why? Because his fucking name. Because
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
by the way, that's a fucking lie. His father gave him way more than $1 million. His father actually funneled hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyway, think about that. Consider this. Contemplate these things on the tree of woe, my friends. We're going to go ahead and do our, we're going to read our Streamlabs. We're going to read our Super Chats. And it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be very, very peachy keen, and you're going to love it. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick break. And while I'm taking that break, I'm going to put the skeleton on. So don't go nowhere. You know, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to leave this screen on, and that way, if you guys want to donate while I'm taking my little break, you'll still get your butt gif and all that stuff, and and your words will appear on the screen and stuff. But I'm going to go grab a quick refreshment. I have a Dr. Pepper here, but I think I want some water or at least some iced tea, and I'm going to drain my bladder, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to have a little discussion, you and me. We're going to talk one-on-one, and it's going to be just fucking wonderful. And, yeah. See you in a moment. Let's get smarter, huh? Let's wear the fake glasses. Yes. Quite intellectual now. It doesn't work when I'm wearing this shirt, but whatever. Let's see. So we'll start with some of these donations here. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's see. It's 9:20 today. No, it's 9:28. So that would start here. So, God's Willing gave $1 and just said zzz. Thank you. Juicy Fruit, spelled juicy with like the word Jew, said, Chij, you were looking very slim. Keep up the good work. I don't think I'm looking that slim. I'm looking slimmer. But, still a lot of fat. So, yeah. Yeah, boy. It might actually be cool to switch to this view here. Yeah, +1 intellect. How you like that shit? YouTube will let you like the video more than once. You just have to sign up more. You know, I'm going to get too distracted by that other chat. My eyes are going to be like constantly looking at that, and then I'm not giving the people who paid their fair shake. So maybe we'll do like a little freebie session afterwards. Okay, where were we? Juicy Fruit. Yeah. Looking very thin. Yeah, I'm not looking slim. I'm looking slimmer. I've lost some weight, but I still have a long way to go. I still probably have at least 40 pounds to lose, but probably a little bit more. I want to get, my goal weight is set at 220. I think that might actually be too much, but I would like to get down to like 240. So I probably still have, 60 pounds or so to lose. General King 007 gave 666 and says, did you hear that Boogie 2988 shot at someone? Yeah, I did hear about that. I heard about someone coming to his house. Hey, if someone comes to your house, like, especially if you're like a YouTuber or something, someone comes to your house clearly with like a negative intent. Yeah, you shoot them. I think Boogie should have shot him in his fucking head. I say that as someone who doesn't really even fucking like Boogie or give a shit about him, really, one way or the other. Fart90 gave $6.44 and said, smaller melatonin doses work better. If you're taking the 3 milligram dose, it won't help. You need to find the 0.3 milligram. That doesn't make sense. That's just holistic medicine gibberish. 8-Bit Twig. Thanks for the money, but I don't agree. 8-Bit Twig gave 42.23 and said, back in August, I requested a manatee impersonation, and I've received like 6 now. As promised, I've joined the chef's table. Take my money and give me more. Johnny Depp is using vote bots to attack my family situation. Fucking lol. DFF is the best. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but thank you for the very generous $42.23. Andrew Walker gave $4.20. 420, man. What are your thoughts on Sargon of Akkad? You were friendly with him in the anti-SJW days, but I can't imagine you like him, both him and Vosh now. And I'm not watching any of Sargon's new shit. He commented on one of my streams not too long ago, and he seemed affable there. There is a Twitter account that is him that I guess I blocked a long time ago, not even realizing it was him, because I guess he was probably posting something that was annoying. I don't really have a strong opinion about Sargon. I watched him debate Vosh. I think it's clear where I stand on that stuff, but, I can't bring myself to hate Sargon. He was always nice to me, and I don't know if he's like fundamentally changed as a person or whatever the fuck, but, he was always a pretty cool dude, at least in a personal sense. So I don't really have anything negative to say about him. If you're looking for me to like talk shit on Sargon, I'm not really going to be the guy to do that. If I was aware of him saying something that was just like totally beyond the pale insane or something, but I I've yet to hear something that was so bad that I was like, well, I have to speak out now. You know, he's conservative. I'm not. That's just kind of the way it is. The Indian Sean gave $3 and says, hey, TJ, would love it if you could comment on this video. It's 5 minutes long and speaks about recycling a green tyranny. Recycling is green tyranny. Also, my cousin Columba Besh from Colombo, Sri Lanka, thanks you for making him famous. There ain't no... Is there really is Columba Besh a real name? Because that's just something I made up. I don't think that's a real name. I think you're fucking with me. Just saying, I'm not going to watch the video on this stream, by the way. Send it to me on Twitter. Send it to me in a DM. I'll look at it. That goes for everybody, by the way. If anybody has like something they want me to look at, just send it to me on there. Just saying gave 666. It said a power can be overthrown only by another power, not by a principle, and only one power that can be. And only one power that can confront money is left. Money is overthrown and abolished by blood. That's apparently Oswald Spengler. I don't know who the fuck that is, but interesting quote. Thank you for sharing it with the class. Dooley gave 15 very generous dollars and said, you fucks going to watch the debates tomorrow, and the plan is to do just that. Yes, indeed. Jimothy gave $3.19. It says, you've probably already talked about this, but what is your opinion on the 2016 Honda Civic EX-T sedan? Piece of shit. Total piece of shit car. Don't waste your money. Dooley again with $5 says, love the shirt. Thank you. It's eccentric. I like it. Or Gorg gave $3 and says, would you still listen to Manson if he fun-doodled a kid? I don't think I would support new albums at that point. Maybe I'd wait for his death at that point. But I probably would still listen to the stuff that he's already released that, is already out there. I mean, I listened to Charles Manson, so he murdered a bunch of people. I mean, I'm clearly not drawing a moral line with the artists I listen to. Benjamin Rose gave $19.84. Ooh, 1984 reference. Ooh. And said, TJ, for reference, minimum wage here in Australia is $19.84 Australian monies per hour, of course. I work full-time at Oz's largest supermarket, get paid more than minimum wage, get 4 weeks paid leave, 2 weeks paid sick leave. Right. And Australia is not even some kind of crazy, radical, far-left fucking country or anything, It's not. This is just like stuff that should just be par for the course. Like, this is bare minimum level subsistence shit. Lucra Denouncer gave $1 and said, have you paid any attention to the U.S. Senate race in Maine? They have ranked choice voting, so the independent Green candidate, Lisa Savage, has more of a chance at breaking the duopoly in other states. Twitter, @Lisa for Maine, website, lisaformaine.org. Very interesting. Good to know. And I have heard about the ranked choice voting in Maine. I think it's a cool idea, and I hope that more states adopt it. However, I don't know that having it for just one election cycle is going to make a drastic difference where, like, a Green candidate suddenly wins. But I hope that we do at least see that they do better than they have. If they don't, then I'm going to assume that people just don't really understand the ranked choice voting thing right yet, and it needs more education. Star Fox gave the forbidden number of monies and said, Trump couldn't run a casino without it going bankrupt, a place where people bring you money and the house is supposed to always win. Who fucks that up? Still couldn't rescue it with his daddy buying chips to bail him out. Also, tell Paul to stream afterwards. All right. I will let Paul know. I'm going to let him know that Star Fox demands that he streams. I'm writing him now. Star Fox wants Paul to stream after me. All right, I'll let him know. If he doesn't do it, he's dissing you. Cunt fuck shit gave $3 and says, do you think Kyle is being too optimistic about Biden's chances? I still see this as this race as a coin toss. If Trump taught us anything, it's never underestimate him. Do you think they will confirm Barrett in time to sway the election Trump's way? I mean, I think that there's plenty of scenarios that could play out where Trump wins this fucking thing. I think there's very few where he wins it legitimately, but I think there's plenty where he wins it by bending the rules a little bit. He's good at that. He's a guy that doesn't pay taxes and still manages to be fine and maintain an opulent lifestyle. So obviously Trump knows the angles. And this is, will this just be another angle? Will this just be another instance of him getting his way? I guess we'll see. So now on to the super chats. Anthony Estrada gave $5 and says, I'm supposed to be studying for a physics optics exam, but when you stream, I watch. Simple. Keep being you, TJ. Don't let anyone change you. Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like I want to change over time. I don't want to be stagnant, but I'll make sure that the changes that happen because I want them to. Digital Demonic Davros gave $5 Australian and says, amazing Scatheist. You are awesome. Left, right, center, stuff them all. Hell yeah. Jesse Uchiha gave $5. Uh-oh, we're going to sneeze. You guys ready for this? Fuck. Nice style you got going on there, TJ. Like a pretty metal lumberjack. Hell yeah. Sam Donahue gave $4.20. Didn't say shit. The Robot Chicken MLP gave $5 and says, I got a look at the 2020 script. I can confirm that the ending does have aliens and not the illegal kind. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. So for those of you who don't know, I have been trying to figure out what the season finale of 2020 is going to be. And this year, as crazy as it is, I feel like the ending has to be the 100% definitive proof of intelligent life in our universe by the means of it arriving here with the intent to enslave and subjugate the human race. I think that's how this year has to end. But then I think to myself, even that's too predictable. It has to be something even crazier than that. Spinosaurus, the proud socialist Egyptiacus, gave $10 and says, hey, TJ, I know you don't watch WWE anymore, but did you hear about Roman Reigns turning heel and siding with Paul Heyman? If so, what do you think about it? I think it was long overdue. When I was watching, it was just like him doing a heel turn is just like something that obviously needed to happen. I hope he's better as a heel than he was as a face. Metacule Vitriol gave $5 and says, what is the next chapter of Order of Chaos? And hello. That's the problem with Order of Chaos. I don't know what the next chapter is. That's why I've decided to write my sci-fi novel with big tits instead. See the beginning of the stream for more information about that. Spinosaurus, the proud socialist Egyptiacus, again with $5, says, I'm trying to lose weight too, so I can relate. I'm trying to get down to 185. Right now I'm about 203, 205. My heaviest was around 245, 250. Well, best of luck to you. I know it's hard to do, and I can tell you right now that the hardest part is just sustaining it. Like, it's easy to do it for a couple weeks. It's hard to keep doing it day in and day out. So, Godspeed. Oni Lord Miki gave $5 and says, hey, TJ, did your hair darken in recent years? I recall you being a lot blonder before. Yeah, my hair has darkened in some places. It's also, I have like a lot of like white or gray hairs here in the very front of my beard. But the hair up here is considerably darker than it used to be. It's still blonde, but it's much more of a dirty blonde at this point. Whereas it used to be almost like a very, very white kind of color. In fact, as a kid, I used to get called bright white because my hair was so white. But that happened to my dad's hair, too. So the next thing that's going to happen, you see the hair has receded here. Now, this was always high, but now it's like receding back there. So the next thing that's going to happen is eventually this will thin out here. If we continue with the stuff that happened with my dad, this stuff will thin out, and I'll have a little patch there. And this stuff here in the front will thin a little bit. And that'll be like what my hair ultimately does. But for now, it's still pretty reasonably thick up until it gets to this point, and then it obviously does what it does. But yeah, it has gotten darker, and I expect it to continue to get darker to the point where it probably won't even be blonde anymore, unless I choose to dye it, which I might. Blah, 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 at least at first. Where was I? Oh. Anthony Estrada gave $2. It says, a strict diet of muffaladas may help you sleep. I know it certainly would, but I can't do that. Rohan Forster gave $5 Australian bucks. Says, have you tried reading in bed? That was the question that actually segued me into talk about my novel, so I've kind of already answered that. But yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that. John Johnson Jr. gave $5 and says, if you're not feeling tired and you're awake and you need to be, it's not a problem. Well, I do. The problem is I do feel tired. Even now doing this, I feel tired, and I don't know if I'm losing am I losing a step because I'm tired? Like, I feel like I've pretty much talked nonstop since I started this, and I feel like my energy levels have been good and all that. But the entire fucking time I've been doing this, whether I'm yelling and screaming and going like, rah, or whatever the fuck, like, I'm just summoning it up because inside I'm fucking tired as shit because I can't fucking sleep, and it sucks dick. Anyway, he says as he drinks a sip of caffeine. Oni Lord Miki again, $5. I know you're on a diet, but I have asked Vosh this the other day. Apple pie with whipped cream, apple pie a la mode, or apple pie with cheddar. I'll eat any of those, but a la mode is the way to go. Soviet Bear gave $2. It says, here's weed money. That makes me sleepy as fuck. Unfortunately, weed tends to make me amped up. At least a lot of times it does. Spinosaurus, the proud socialist Egyptiacus, again, very generous donation, $5. Superman is the best superhero and has the coolest powers. Change my mind. I think you're just trolling at this point. Everyone knows Superman is lame. Zero Divisor gave $5. It says, have you tried melatonin or tryptophan supplement? 1,000 milligrams. Tryptophan knocks me the fuck out. Failing that, yeah, I don't know. There's another drug, Elitzozalam. All right, Etizolam. I don't know. Always works. Always. Okay, I'll look into it. Still Alive gave $2. Says, losing your virginity to a prostitute at 30 plus. Sad. I mean, if you're 30 plus and you still ain't lost the V card, I think the prostitute is probably a pretty acceptable way to go about it. Don't worry about it if it's sad. Just get that dick wet. Corey James, $5. Can we get deep fat fried on ancient or medieval torture devices? Not only can you get that, you've already had that. That already exists. I believe we've done that one. Jickery gave $10 and says, out of all your looks, Lumberjack TJ is my favorite ever. Ever given thought to meditation? The science of it is super interesting. I'm not a great meditator, more of a masturbator, No, I suck at meditation because my mind is hard to shut up. That's the same reason I can't sleep. As for this, I don't really think of this as a lumberjack look because I feel like if it all had this pattern, I feel like it would look like a lumberjack shirt. But the fact that it has this weird checkered pocket and that half the shirt is checkered, I feel like that kind of takes away from the lumberjack vibe. Zero Divisor gave $5. Says, if you don't mind high fantasy with dwarves and elves, etc., one of my favorite novels is Icewind Dale by R.A. Salvatore. Okay. And he says Drisset is a big influence on me. Okay, well, hey, I'll fucking check it out. I'm looking for shit to read, so I'll remember that name. R.A. Salvatore Icewind Dale. Eric Cecil gave $10 and says, hey, TJ, I think Condiment Man could be reimagined for the modern era. In short, he uses a flamethrower to burn people alive, but then shoots condiments at them before he eats them, dead or alive. Went super dark with Condiment King, but okay. Colin Hart gave $2. Says, do you think Trump will live another 4 full years? Of course. Evil never dies. I mean, Dick Cheney's still alive, for fuck's sake. Jehoshaphat Davey gave $5. Didn't say shit. World Mighty gave $6.66 and says, hey, TJ, what's your thought on Batman Who Laughs and the upcoming sequel? DC has a music trailer for it on YouTube. I think you'd like it. Yeah, I saw that they used some Marilyn Manson in that trailer. That was pretty cool. I don't really know what the comic is about, but it's been a while since I've read a comic book, honestly. I was thinking about getting the trade paperbacks of The Boys since I'm enjoying the show so much. And I do like Garth Ennis's other work. I have Preacher back there, as you know. Eric Martins says, sing the next line, and after all. Okay, so sing the next line, and the line is, and after all, you're my wonder wall. It's terrible singing, but yeah, I think that's what you're getting at. I can do an over the top, you're my wonder wall. Henry Lemoyne gave $1.99 and said, what if Trump mentions corn pop at the debates? I think he should. Spinosaurus, the proud socialist Egyptiacus, gave $10. Says, honestly, I think Biden will do better than people are expecting. Biden will probably be on drugs and therefore more coherent than usual, and he didn't do that bad in his last debate against Bernie. I don't think that he did very well in that debate against Bernie either, but you're right, he didn't do as bad as he was expected to, and I think that you might see that again. Although I think Trump is going to get way more under Biden's skin than Bernie did, because whenever Bernie had Biden irritated, Bernie kind of pulled back, and I don't think Trump is going to give him that. Incredible Hooah gave $5 and says, everyone forgets the DNC consolidated power to defeat the left. Oh, I ain't forgot shit. I remember exactly what happened. The Atheist Veteran gave $10 and says, if anyone still thinks Congress prioritized them as constituents, think about this. COVID relief just cannot pass, yet as soon as RGB dies, there's absolutely no delay to replace her. Exactly. TVB9 gave $3 and says, where did you get the butt gifts? Usually I've just typed big butt into various search engines and looked for the GIFs that were acceptable to put on YouTube. Zegner gave 1,000 huffs and said, Hungary is one step from taking over the U.S. in suicide and obesity rates, but we're coming for you. Oh, hell no. We're going to kill ourselves and get fat at much better rates than you, Hungary. I mean, you know, your guys' name is Hungry, and you still trail behind us in obesity, for fuck's sake. Pongmaster Fong gave $5, says F is the Great White Hope. How about DFF on PragerU? Not a bad idea. Muscular Aviator gave $5 Australian bucks and says, Trumpers think it's awesome that Trump scammed the tax department, feature not bug. The only negative story here is Trump has less money than you. Sam Reagan gave $4.99 and says, Pessimist Productions live debate coverage, please. We are planning on doing it. Henry Lemoyne gave $4.99 and says, I'm on a diet. I'm 220, trying to get down to 140, 150. But then again, I'm only like 5'8". If I was your height, I'd probably be quite skinny. Yep. I'd be, if I you know, you're basically, what you weigh now is what I'm trying to get down to. But yeah, you're 5'8", I'm 6'6", so it's a different fucking story, right? Skeptical Contrarian gave $5 and says, have you gent yet? I don't know what that means. Taco Face Fart gave $5. Great name, by the way, and says, you were never more right about politics than when you compared Trump to Cartman. Also, odd that businesses are rewarded for failing on paper. Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it? It's almost like another one of those features that gets mistaken by ordinary people for being a bug. It's like, oh no, our system's broken. It's like, nope, working just like they intended to. Looked up atheist porn once. Big mistake. Atheist porn? I gotta look that up myself. Oh, lack of God! Let's see. We got some more super chats came in while I was reading those. Paul Master Fong gave $2. Didn't say shit. Melo Malo Paulino gave $2. Says boiling water on balls won't help the culture war, but boiling oil might. Doug Rubio 199 says, "Are you getting a PS5 or Xbox Series S?" Nope, don't like gaming. Papa Joe White gave $10 and said, "Digging your show, thanks." Thank you. Vicious E gave $5 and says, "I saw that episode of The Boys with the deeps singing gills, way too high, freaked me out." I can tell you right now, I watched it reasonably sober, and I was also freaked out. So it's not, and Patton Oswalt's voice as the gills was a great touch, by the way. Let's see here. Now let's go back. I think we got a few more donations in while I was reading those super chats. Okay, here we go. Zegner gave $1.28. It says, "YouTube won't let me write ass, so it's Streamlabs from now on. Amen." Jeb gave $4 and says, "Gord Forkin, damn it, Chi look at the Imgur butts I sent you on Twitter. There's some great butts there. I'll be sending a new one because I think I sent ain't working." Okay, cool. Keep them coming. Keep me coming, I should say. Emperor Ghidorah gave $4 and says, "Unfortunately, Imgur isn't working. What other alternatives work for you?" I don't know. Just send whatever you want. Jack gave $6.66 and says, "Hey, TJ, I started watching The Boys because of your recommendation. Which hero do you hate/love the most and why?" I think that Homelander is just one of the most terrifying characters that's probably ever been created. Because it's just like he's narcissistic, psychologically complex, but with a god. Like, a lot of people out there have god complexes, and that's scary enough because of the stuff that they can justify. But to have someone with a god complex that actually has powers equivalent to a god is definitely pretty fucking crazy and scary. Cody's Ghost gave $4.20 and says, "Tell the people where you put my body, TJ. I will not let you rest until you come clean." All right. After I murdered Cody, I shoved his dead body up my ass. That's why I did that stuff with the banana. I was trying to widen it up to fit Cody up there. So Cody's skeleton still resides in my asshole. That's the truth. And now you know. All right. Got a couple more. I think we got one more super chat while I was doing that. Colin Hart gave $2 and says, "Could a Nina Turner /AOC realistically win in 2024? Yes, absolutely. They could realistically win in 2024, but it's going to require a lot of work on the part of the left in America to change hearts, change minds, stop fucking with this purity testing bullshit, present a united front, get your fucking shit in order, get behind a fucking cogent agenda, and start fucking fighting like you mean to win and not just like you want to feel good about yourself and pat yourself on the back for how great you are. Because I see a lot of lefties out there that seem way more concerned with being like, "I am so much better than other people." Like, that your smugness is all well and good, but you need to get rid of it because it's not doing anybody any fucking favors. And the leftists who are clearly just in it for the smug points probably need to be kicked screaming into a pit of fucking poisonous vipers so that they can no longer negatively affect the rest of us. And I get the fucking irony of saying we need to stop purity testing only to just make that statement, but it's those people who are doing the purity test. So it's just like the paradox of tolerance is the paradox of purity testing. Those who purity test are not pure enough and must be purged. Except for the people who, with that purity test, that's the one we have to be permissive of, because we got to get rid of that shit, because no one wants to join a club when one of the messages of the club is you're a piece of shit unless you agree with my exact interpretation of how the club needs to be. There's plenty of stuff that we can fight for, plenty of stuff we can focus on, but there has to be a united front. There has to be widespread agreement. There has to be a fucking concerted effort and a concerted movement. There has to be what my friend Paul and some others have taken to calling solidarity. There has to be some semblance of that. Even in the face of disagreements, there must be solidarity. So, that all being said, let's go ahead and talk to the pleb chat for a minute. Praying on street corners so as to be seen praying. Yep, exactly the kind of virtue signally bullshit that I'm talking about. What about the leftists who are the destruction of conservatism and hate it? No, I will not give them the time of day. Who are the leftists who are the destruction of conservatism and hate it? Yeah, that's good. Conservatism should die. There are so many people I follow on Twitter that need to hear this. Yep, well, send it to them. Quit fucking telling me what people need to hear and start making them hear it. Start putting it in their fucking faces. I want new ways to police my fellow peoples. Nope. You'll regret it. Maybe I will. I regret the reality that we live in. So any change, I'll quote Tool at this point. I can't imagine why you wouldn't welcome any change, my friend. Purity doesn't exist. Exactly the point. Thoughts on Doctor Who? I watched a few seasons of it before I kind of fell off. I checked out during the what was that guy's name? It was before the one before that Capaldi dude. The one with kind of the weird face and the bow tie. I watched a little bit of him, and he was all right. Gravel Institute, exactly. Everybody go to the Gravel Institute, subscribe to that channel, watch that shit. You need to watch it. Hi, TJ, I appreciate you. One of the few tubers that's not boring as hell. Yeah, we go, most of them are boring because that's, is this live? Yeah, this is live. Puns are cool. TJ, I should not be anyone's role model. Just, live for yourself. Will DFF do an election? I already answered that we are going to do an election night stream. Matt Smith, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I think I watched a good chunk of the Matt Smith stuff, but I didn't make it quite to the end. I fell off for some reason. I think I just got tired of the show. Are you almost done for the night already? Yeah, I'm pretty much wrapped up at this point. I talked about the subjects I wanted to talk about. I talked to the people who donated, and I gave you guys who are plebs a little bit of a discussion. So I think that's good. TJ, I'm glad to hear you love Joe Bob. Oh, I love Joe Bob Briggs. I grew up with Joe Bob Briggs, dude. I grew up watching Monster Vision on TNT. It introduced me to a whole host of fucking crazy-ass movies. I love Joe Bob Briggs. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every last motherfucking one of you, but I'm afraid it's time to go. It's time for me to go watch some TV, smoke some green, and chill. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will wish you a pleasant evening, pleasant morning, whatever fucking time it may be, wherever the fuck you are. I will remind you to subscribe to this channel if you ain't. Click that alert bell if you need to, if you fucking actually want to be informed about shit. Go check out my podcast channel, Deep Fat Fried, the show I do with Scotty and Paul. We're going to be doing an election stream tomorrow night. And stay tuned for updates on my book and other shit. Anyway, I am the Amazing Atheist. This has been a stream. Peace the fuck out. Oh, someone told me Paul's streaming. I don't know if that's actually true. Let's see. Maybe I can send you guys to the Paul stream. If he's actually streaming. Yep, Paul. It's actually Paul is streaming now. So Paul is over on the Ideology channel. He's got a stream called Playing Hades. Talking shit. Here it is right here. I'm kind of blocking Paul there. But yeah, you guys can go right from... This is kind of a cool Pessimist Productions night because you guys can go right from our stream. We did our fucking show tonight. It was our first heavily edited episode, edited by a dude named Ian, who's super cool. Did a great job with the edit, so check that out. We're taking that content to the next level. And then I did my stream, and now you can go watch Paul doing his stream over on the Ideology channel. And in fact, I will go ahead and link the channel down below in the description section of this very video that you are watching right now. I'm going to add it right there. I'm going to make it the top stream here. All right. Check out Ideology. All right. So go there, go bother Paul, have some fun, talk some shit. Paul's playing some kind of retarded video game. Let's get him up there. How many people are watching this? 1,000? Let's go fucking watch Paul. Some of you guys must still fucking need entertainment. Let's get this up. 149. Let's get it up to like fucking 666.
All right, we got her.
Get it up there.
Nice chatting.
There is a stream within a
So
stream.
there are 3 different Fury sisters, one of which you can
No,
actually interact
TJ,
with
go
back
away.
at
Shut up,
home when you
Alan. I'm
die.
Anna Smith, you fucking cunt.
Tiffany,
Wish Paul would
her
fucking mob me on
gimmick
his
is
channel so I could ban that
basically,
cunt.
At different phases, she shrinks the room. So you guys saw how the room at one point would freeze and get smaller.
So go join Paul. I put the link in the
That's her
description.
thing.
I'm wrapping
She's
this
pretty much the
motherfucker
easiest
up.
one to beat for me. I'm always glad when I see Tiffany.
Thank you, guys.
TJ shouted.
And peace the fuck out. I didn't even do the fucking proper hand gestures there. What the fuck? I've lost my touch. Peace the fuck